Hello, and welcome to the Casino Tears podcast. I'm one of your hosts, 10 Ton is number one, and joining me as my co-host is the one and only Ed Robinson from Roll to Win Craps. If you want more info on our show, please visit our page at casinotears.com. On this week's show, we discuss Dice Coach Dials In, season finale, listener questions, the best DI. We also touch on qualifying shooters, on axis, drop shots, chopper toss, dealer versus gambler mentality, and Ed doubles down on Biloxi. Bo, listen.
I'm listening.
I want that microphone, though.
What the fuck? You want me to swallow it?
Pretty much. Listen.
Jeez.
I don't want to go.
The fucking microphone. You can't hear me. You don't yell at Ed. Where's his microphone?
Ed yells at me. Okay, that's the pecking order.
I'm the yelling.
Look at his mic. Look at that. He's a mile and a half away from that damn thing. So 10 Ton, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a yerba mate.
What the hell is that? Sounds like urinate. Is it a no, vitamin drink?
It's yerba mate, not urinate.
Yerba. What is it supposed to do for you? Is it like?
I'm not quite sure.
Does it have wings? Will it fly? Like no. It's a lot of sugar in there.
I don't think so, dude. 60 calories per can. 60 calories per can. Dice Coach dialing in.
There he is.
Nice. Hey, Ed, Bo,
yes,
this
sir.
is going to be probably episode 50. Bo, this is going to be the final episode for season 1 of Casino Tears.
Okay.
So, Bo, in our last episode called Bellagio Heat, I had touched on what happened when I was at Bellagio with you and Pappy Van Winkle and EC, Eric Kavanaugh.
Okay.
Ed and I talked about it for a while, but I wanted to get since you were a part of this in a big way, Ed and I referred to it as that I was getting, collateral heat. The heat I got was really, truly because of you.
Exactly.
And your past history with Joe, the floor guy who's supervising our table at Bellagio.
That's correct.
Tell me about it.
Well, we're at the table. 10 Ton's got the dice, stick right one. And he's doing his famous corner shot on the inside hook, which is not a problem. I mean, it's integral to the back wall, right? It's part of the back wall. It's actually better for the casino if you hit it on the inside hook, right? Because it makes it more random. So they think, right? If you throw it just right, there's a sweet spot there. We can kind of eliminate that randomness. That's why we do that. But anyway, so Joe there, I remember him from Treasure Island. He used to give me so much crap at Treasure Island. I mean, unbelievable. I'd be at stick right one. He'd go to the other end of the table and look down and put his eye level just over the rail, his chin down here, and just stare at me. And I just didn't fall. I just kept throwing the dice. And finally came around. And he says, I got your player's card. And I got the dice, right? So I set the dice down and he's talking to me. I said, Joe, what are you doing? He said, I'm just giving you your player's card back. I said, you just stopped the game. You know what you're doing. You're trying to get me out of my zone. And I said, the game's not going to move. I said, I'll stand here and talk to you all day if you want to, but you tell us to move the game along, and you're the one that stopped the game. So what do you want to do? We're going to shoot craps or we're going to shoot shit? What do you want to do? And so finally he goes back into his crib on the other side of the pit, and the game progressed. But those kind of things there, they're just trying to do that just to get you out of your element. But he used to always give me crap over there, blah, 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 this, that. So then when we were there at Bellagio, I didn't recognize him at first because I hadn't seen him in forever. He comes over there. I go, Joe, oh, okay. You're the guy. He said, do you remember me? I said, yeah, you live in Summerlin. You have a koi pond. You remember I got a koi pond? I said, of course I remember you got a koi pond. And I said, yeah, you're the one that gives me a ration of shit. And he says, yeah, it's because of guys like you is screwed this whole game up. I said, what do you mean screwed the game up? I said, no. I said, so we're bantering back and forth, and there's 10 Ton over there. He's trying to shoot.
In my role.
It was crazy. And so we found out he's going to have his retirement party on the 16th of January.
Thank God.
We were talking about going and crashing it for him. You know what I mean? But it's crazy. He's been with MGM Properties for like over 30 years.
We wish him a happy retirement.
There you go.
What does he mean by You guys like you ruined the game.
Well, because we were setting the dice instead of picking them up and just chucking them and moving the game along, right? And the same crew that he had there at Treasure Island, I'll never forget this one blonde. She goes, "Oh, really negative, really sour. Oh, here comes the dice setters again." And I said, "Sweetheart," I said, "do you notice the dice setters are the only ones that are tipping you? So why do you want to bite the hand that feeds you?" I said, come on, give us some slack here. Oh, okay. So it's crazy. They don't, no, we didn't wreck the game. We made it better for them. Are you kidding me? They just try to give us crap.
You got to tip the dealers. Got to tip the dealers.
We always tip the dealers. Got to tip the dealers.
I tipped them so much in Biloxi last weekend. It was
they
insane.
Oh, yeah.
My God. Yeah.
Well, that's part of the good energy though, Ed.
Yeah. Yeah. It was fantastic. I mean, they were on my hard ways. What I found out that was interesting, and I do the snow cap thing on the pass line. If I decide to bet hard ways, I'm going to put them on the action. And occasionally I go ahead and give them some box numbers. But primarily I got them on the pass line with me because I'm shooting for the point.
Right.
And we got deep into some hands. We was on a crapless table. I gave them some money and I said, place them wherever you want to place them. And I was busting 5 and 9s and they were like, I kept noticing they just kept racking it. And I said, are you not going to press? No, they couldn't. So I said, I stopped. I said, how come you're not pressing any of these numbers? And they said, we can't unless you give us permission.
There you go.
I said, box man or box lady, whichever it was, because they have several that rotate through. From here on out, anytime I give my dealers a bet, they got permission to do whatever they want to with it. Rack it or press it. And they went to town. Dealers. Dealers. You know how dealers are.
Yeah. They want to press those bets.
They're degenerates just like us. Maybe more so.
Yeah, a lot of those guys play a lot.
Yeah. And they can't play where they work, but they go play other places.
Exactly. Yeah, because they're afraid of collusion.
Well, I've actually seen guys in Tunica wearing one, like they might be wearing a certain casino's outfit, uniform, whatever you want to call it, while they're playing somewhere else.
Sure.
I mean, it's like they just got off and they don't even change clothes. They just go.
It's gone over there. Yeah. It's no big deal,
yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Perfect. And when you gave them the money to put up on the place bets, did you say player control?
I did not. Not.
Yeah. Because
if player control would let me decide whether or not they should press or not, I always give them the free. I want them to have the free will to do with it whatever they want.
Yeah, but if you don't, I don't know how it works over there, but here, if you don't say player control, they'll take the original bet plus the payout.
They left the original bet out.
Okay. So here, if you don't say player control, they'll pick up the original bet.
Yeah.
Remember when we had our group class at the Virgin? Did anybody remember that class?
Unfortunately.
Anyway, the girl dealer, I was going player control, and she was still picking up my bet plus the payout.
Yeah.
And okay, well, I said, since you're so cute, I'll just let you do that.
You need glasses, dude. Get your eyes checked.
I'm trying to build some camaraderie at the tables to get some energy going there, right?
I know, but you don't have to give her undue flattery.
I know. Yeah, that's true.
I find that dealers that take those tips that don't press it up automatically, I feel like that always happens at some of the lower tier properties, like your Binions or your Horseshoes.
Sure.
They're not used to getting bets for them.
Yeah, I guess so.
They don't know what to do with them. You go to Caesars or the casinos on the Strip. Oh, hell yeah. They're all over that stuff.
But they do it automatically. You don't have to tell them. They just know what to do. It goes without saying.
True. That's good. Are those dice behind you to your left, 10-ton? Are those fuzzy dice that you hang in your window in the car?
I know I should. They're purple dice that don't.
Are those the same purple ones I used the other day?
Yeah.
Those are bad.
Speaking of like lower tier, those are lower tier.
So that's why I brought my blue dice today.
Yeah. But hey, Bo, do you think that guy, Joe from Bellagio, who's retiring, thank God. By the way, I was walking through Bellagio and I wanted to play and I saw him and I didn't play. Yeah, I didn't play simply because he was there. And I'm like, this guy actually, he's losing business right now because I'm not going there because I saw him, because I don't want to deal with him. And his attitude.
Well, he doesn't really care at this point.
Well, I mean, even though he's retiring in a couple days, he still cared about me hitting that back well. So my question is, do you think, A, what was his reason for doing that? And do you think that he was doing that to like just screw with our game, because he was the one that was ruining the game?
Well, he was doing that to screw with our game, number one. And he was just trying to let us know he's the boss, not us. You know, and he's trying to prove a point, and he wants to make himself look good to his peers in the pit, like giving us a bunch of crap about hitting it in the hook like that. I got one time a golden nugget. They would stop me from throwing it in the hook in the pool, the sit down pool at the table at the pool, and they wouldn't let me throw it in the hook. So that's the only other time I've seen that.
I don't think I told you, and I told Ed that afterwards I went to play at Aria, and I was there with 2 floor guys and 3 dealers, and they were all saying, you're totally fine. And as long as you don't hit the glass, you're good, which is completely different. A 5-minute walk away.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he was messing with us. Absolutely.
Ed, I was telling Bo today that at New Year's, you know, I walked into Caesars, one of the female floors came out from the pit, came up to me, gave me a kiss on the cheek, wished me Happy New Year. Another one, a guy came out from behind.
Did he kiss you on the cheek too?
Yeah, I wish he did, but he did. He shook my hand and we had a nice conversation.
Was it the butt cheek or the face cheek?
Face cheek. Another of the female floors came out and shook my hand. And I was saying, I want to go play there because of them. I want to go play there because I feel welcome there, completely different just because of this one guy at Bellagio. I feel so welcome. I want to go there. They're happy to see me. I'm happy to see them. And guess what? I'm going to plunk down whatever it is, thousands of dollars to play with, which is, I think, what any casino would want. Funny how that customer service, or how someone actually just being nice to you, it matters to me as a player. I don't need to go to Bellagio, even though I like their tables, but because of that guy, it just doesn't make sense to me from a customer service point of view.
I agree.
Sometimes management, they don't think things through very well, you know? So they think they're in control. Like one time at, at Old Ballet's, which is now Horseshoe. It was a $10 game, and in the middle of one of my students' rolls, he changed it to 15, didn't grandfather anybody in. I said, oh, thank you very much. You're just going to force everybody to make more money. He looked at me like, what? So, yeah, you keep raising it. We're going to, it was in the middle of a hot roll hand too. What an idiot. Why would you raise the limit? You know what I mean? Doesn't make sense. But he's just trying to screw with you. That's all they're trying to do. Trying to get you out of your element.
Did that guy kick you out of Treasure Island then?
No, he did not.
He's just not a fan.
He wasn't a fan.
That was funny watching you guys.
Oh, bantering back and forth?
Yeah, while I was shooting Ed.
Well, he'd come over. I was leaning against the table behind me, and he would come over and butt up against me and yada, yada. We're all basically nose to nose, right?
I think maybe he was lonely, Ed. Maybe he was just lonely.
Maybe he was lonely.
Yeah.
I
wanted to see an old friend.
There you go. I hadn't seen him in 20 years.
Yeah.
So he couldn't believe I remembered his koi pond. So there you go.
He probably doesn't even have a koi pond anymore.
He probably ate the fish. Had sushi one night. So he'll be gone in a couple of weeks. So then we can go back to Bellagio. We don't have to worry about it.
I know, it'll be good.
I've only seen that one time before where they stopped somebody from throwing into the corner. And that was at Harrah's down in Biloxi. There was a guy from Stick Right throwing in, and he was having a good roll. He was already nervous because he was like a new shooter, kind of, been through a class or whatever. And then, boy, once he got the heat, he was totally just
fell apart.
Oh yeah. Once he got the, and then I looked at my dealer that was over there that I had known for a long time. I said, you realize we're all fixing to leave and y'all not getting any more of these tips that we're betting for you. They were, the dealers were mad at that. It was a stick guy that was doing it too.
Oh, really? Oh, that's an idiot.
Yeah, total idiot.
Wow.
Total idiot. They were really mad at him too. And as soon as his hand was over, we were gone.
Well, there goes their income, see? Not good.
Mm-hmm. We took it somewhere else.
There you go.
Mind if I jump into some questions that we got for you, Bo?
Do it.
And you, Ed.
All right.
All right, here we go.
Is this off the Facebook?
Yeah, this is off the Facebook page that I have never been to.
Oh, no.
Bo, I've never been to this page. I've never even seen it, but I trust in Ed completely to oversee this.
Okay. Is there chaos on your Facebook?
I don't know. Is it Ed?
I don't think so. I think it's a great. I just let 2 more people in today.
You let them in?
He's the
Yeah,
gatekeeper.
I'm the gatekeeper. I have to make sure they're like real people and not some robot.
Okay, that's a good idea. So you got to make sure that they are kind to one another, right?
Well, no, I go in and I look at their profile, and and the profile's been around a few years. They're real people. I see what they post, and you can see their pictures or
Sure.
whatever. But if they started a profile like last week, they're not getting in.
The password is bourbon.
Bourbon. There you go.
Brown water.
Brown water.
All right. So Carlos says, qualifying shooters, what are you guys looking for? It's actually simple, great question.
So qualifying shooters, right? What I like for is, first of all, is he a setter or not? And if he is he any good? Okay. Like, as well as I don't bet the pass line on anybody.
Yep.
Just to eliminate that part of the equation. So I'll look at a few of his rolls, and if it looks like he's going to catch a hand, I look for his dominant numbers. So let's just hypothetically say he's got two dominant numbers, a 6 and a 10. I'll put my money in the 6 and the 10. And if he's not hitting certain numbers, I won't even bet them at all. Why bet them when they're not showing up? They got to pay their own rent. So if the 6 hits, I'll collect it. If it hits again, I'll press it. If the 10 hits, I press it right away, because if you start with a quarter, you drop $1, you go to 50, right? And, a lot of times you see, 3 or 4 10s in a row, or 3 or 4 4s in a row, whatever. But I just look for the dominant numbers. And if they go away, then I'll either move them to another number or take them down. Depends on what the situation is. And also looking how many crap numbers he throws in between box numbers. That's a big criteria for me. And I know that doesn't help you any, because you like the crapless craps and the repeaters on the crapless. So you just jump right in that, and that's good for you when they hit. But when they miss, not so good, huh?
No, never.
Never. No, never. Never. Yeah. So that's what I look for.
Well, I look at a few things. Number one, like you said, are they setting the dice, and are they trying to grip them the same way, same set? Because I look at it like a lot of people will set a 3V, but there's a lot of different configurations of a 3V.
Oh yeah.
And so I look to see if they're really trying to set the same set, couple tosses. And then I look to see if they're able to hit the landing zone within some, given reasonable circumference, I guess, 6 inches, I guess, whatever, on that landing zone. So if they can set them consistently and hit a landing zone consistently, then I'm starting to give them the benefit of the doubt, right?
Sure.
And then again, it's like you said, what numbers are showing. All right, so I know they're throwing a 3V, they should be hitting inside. Or are they throwing 3s and 12s? Then I'm still not ready. But if they're hitting 5-6, 5-6, I'm ready. So I think that's kind of how I look at it. I want to see how they're what they're setting, if at all possible, how they're tossing it, how they're gripping it, how they're tossing it, and are they hitting a landing zone consistently?
Yeah, it's major.
And then it's 1 or 2 bets just to test the waters, 1 or 2 numbers.
And as the game grows, if he's getting other numbers, then you grow with the game.
Yep.
Just go with it. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
So Ed, it almost underscores the importance of understanding or having a good knowledge on dice sets, because if you see their dice set, and like I remember one time watching this guy at Horseshoe, and I could actually see it. So I had a good view, and I saw his set, and I'm like, oh man, that's the same set I throw that gets 4s and 10s, right? And I only bet a 4 and 10 on this guy, and he was just a random shooter, but he hit it.
Yeah.
It's actually a set that Howard showed me, which was supposed to get 4s and 10s, and it does. But I used that knowledge. It really directed my very few cautious bets.
I don't even know that I would rely on knowing that. I'd actually want to see the actual results, because just because you can throw 4s and 10s with a set doesn't mean he can throw 4s and 10s with a set. He might throw 3s and 11s.
Yeah.
He might throw 6s and 8s or 5s. And whatever the comment. I got sets that I end up hammering 5s and 6s instead of 8s and 9s. 8s and 9s never show up. 5s and 6s are just getting pounded. So, and then it might change on the next toss back to what you would think it would be. I think you got to be careful. Just because you know the set and you think you know what that set should roll, still a different person, still a different spin ratio, different landing zone, different arc, all those different kind of things come into play. So I'm not so presumptive to say that because they're throwing this set, they should get those numbers and then start betting those numbers. I want to see those numbers before I bet them.
Yeah, because now you're talking dice control. If you're using like a 2V set for 4s and 10s, you're getting 4s and 10s. That's more on the dice control. Because you can use a 2V set and pound the hell out of 6 and 8s and not even see a 4 or 10.
Absolutely. I do it all the time.
Yeah, so there you go. So you see a guy shooting the dice. Because I remember this story once from one of my students. The husband was shooting. The wife was standing next to me, and he was at stick left. And he was just killing the 6 and 8s. I mean, tons of them. And I said, boy, that 3V is really working. She said, I hate to tell you this, but he's using the 2V set. I go, oh, shit, there you go. So there you go. So bet what's rolling, not what the set is.
Yeah, because, I mean, even I was practicing tossing before we got on air, 2V set. I threw like 8 8s, and 6 of them were 5 3s. That's a single pitch.
There you go. There you
go.
So
it depends on how they're landing. It depends on how your toss is doing. I mean, I threw like a couple of 3 1s in there, and then the rest of them were 5 3s. But dice influence is not real.
Contraire, but it is. Dice influence is, dice control is, that's a whole other story.
Next question. Give us another question.
From Lee. And you know what? I think, is Lee Dr. Yank? I think he might be. That's a handle. I think so. Might be. Anyway,
might be.
Couple things. Goal setting for 2025. What goals will you be working on for 2025? Brownwater bash dates for 2025? Those are the general questions. But this one, check it out. I love visiting different casinos. I love souvenir $1 chips for my collection. How do you balance playing on known reliable tables, in parentheses, with favorable conditions, versus visiting new places?
Well, you got to try it out first to see what's happening, right?
Yeah.
If I walked into a new casino and saw new tables I've never played on, I would look and see how are the dice responding and how do they sound on the table when other people are shooting before I'd even get involved. If they're just like a trampoline going all over the place, like the ones at Virgin, then I just keep walking. Yeah. But if there's some similarity of, they're dying like they supposed, even a random shooter, sometimes they can get the dice, they can land them really nice and without them randomly rolling all over the place. So that's what I would look for myself, instead of buying in and testing the waters and getting, losing $300 or $400. That I wouldn't do that.
Well, you don't want to buy in and make a long make a big bet just to collect $1 souvenir chip.
No, absolutely not. You can go to the cage and buy one.
Go to the cage and buy one. You can go buy in at blackjack and say, I need some white chips, play a couple of hands of blackjack and walk away. I mean, there's all kind of ways to collect chips. But I think the primary question there is, you're at a totally unknown table. And it doesn't take but a couple of tosses to figure out, I can figure this table out, or I need to get the heck out of here.
That's right.
I mean, it doesn't take long. And so normally I will go my first shot really close to the wall and see how they react. And then I will try a low shot. If it's too bouncy, I'll try a low shot and try to get them to skip in like you're skipping rocks on water. And if I don't like that, I'm gone as soon as that hand's over.
Good idea.
Try a couple of different angles and different shots. And if they're not working, get the heck out of there.
Absolutely. Well, the Tropicana, they just imploded that recently, right? Here in Vegas.
Yeah.
One of my students.
I watched that.
Yeah. One of my students went in there before they imploded it and wanted to buy $1 chip from the table. And they wouldn't they said, no, you have to buy in. So they wouldn't give him $1 chip. So he buys in, gets the dice. He put 10, 10, 10 on the all tall and small and hits the all tall and small. So it cost him $2,100 and he got his $1 chip.
That's awesome.
Adios.
That's awesome. Cool. That is awesome.
That's good. But you can go to the cage. You can buy 1s or 5s or whatever you want. You know what I mean? If you want to just collect the chip without even testing the waters on the table.
I mean, Ed, we talked about this a little bit. Goals. Well, first of all, Brownwater Bash dates. Is that even going to be a thing?
Yeah, it's going to be a thing. It's going to be in May.
Oh, wow. May.
That's in Biloxi.
Yeah, it's going to be the weekend after Mother's Day weekend. I can't remember the dates, but y'all can look it up. It'll be announced. I'm not going to do it in June this year. I'm going to do it in May.
Bo, do you have any goals that you're going to be working on for 2025?
To be honest with you, I haven't set any particular goals. My goal is always to, come out a winner at the end of the month.
Yeah.
So that takes discipline, as you know, living in a gaming town.
Yeah.
But you got to keep discipline in check and not chase a game. Try to make it happen.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can make it happen. I've seen you do it. And I've seen it not work too with you.
Yeah.
So it's exciting going out with 10 Ton. It really is. It's just,
It's
just really exciting. He's a charmer, man. It's good. It's awesome.
He's got box people kissing him on the cheek.
I know. Absolutely. Oh my gosh.
It's funny. All right. So this relates to the Biloxi question. Okay. Good question, especially for you, Bo. If travel, this is from Moonshine. If travel wasn't an issue, would you play in Biloxi or Vegas, and why? What are the things you like about each place?
Well, Biloxi, the Southern hospitality is awesome, right? In the summertime, it's too humid. I played at the Beau Rivage before in Biloxi. We did really well. My druthers are Vegas. I like the dry heat. I like the fact that I'm 20 minutes from any casino, some of them 5 minutes.
Did you just say druthers?
Yeah.
Dad, I just used that word in the upcoming episode. You never hear that. You never hear anyone say druthers.
Yeah.
If I had my druthers.
There you go.
That's awesome, Bo. That is awesome.
So we have an advantage by living in Vegas because we're really close. I mean, I've gone to the Strip before and I couldn't find a game I like. So what the hell? Just you can turn around and go home or go to the bar and have a drink, whatever you want to do, right? You don't have to play. I love people that go, oh, what if I can't get my position? Well, my answer is, are you playing to play or are you playing to win? So if you just want to play and just have some fun, okay, fine, it doesn't matter. But if you're serious and you want to win, well, you better stick to your position you do the best at, and don't stay too long.
Ed, Biloxi's your home, pretty much your home city for craps. Yeah. You've been to Vegas enough times over the years. If travel wasn't an issue, would you still pick Biloxi over Vegas?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely.
Why? A full-length extended version of this podcast is available exclusively on our Patreon page. New episodes drop weekly every Tuesday. We hope you enjoyed this podcast and will tell all of your fellow craps-playing friends about it. Please follow Casino Tears on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. If you like the show, please rate it 5 stars and leave a review. The best and most fun way to contact us would be to call and leave a message on our official Casino Tears vent line, 229-NO7. You can also email us at no7@casinotears.com. And lastly, to help support this podcast, you can visit our Patreon at patreon.com/casinotears. On behalf of Roll to Win Craps from Alabama and 10 Ton is #1 from Las Vegas, thanks for listening.